Hey everyone, I wanted to go over some new and interesting and perhaps just downright amusing news that we got regarding the, of course, heavily rumored Nintendo Switch Pro, or at the very least the complete lack thereof. And that's the fact that Bloomberg just recently put up a brand new article basically breaking down that they have all these sources, 11 companies according to them, have provided them information that there's essentially a Nintendo Switch Pro or a Nintendo Switch 4K. And essentially these developers and these companies have the ability to be able to go ahead, because of the toolkits and the software, to be able to make these 4K games essentially for this brand new Nintendo Switch system that still Nintendo has not gone ahead and revealed. Let's keep it in perspective that just in about 2 weeks, the Nintendo Switch OLED is going to be launching for around $350 here in the US. So it's going to be one of those things where like Nintendo doesn't want anyone even considering the fact that there might be another Switch in the future or anything along those lines. So of course, this pretty much ticked them off. The fact that Bloomberg wrote an article basically breaking down that there's like 11 companies, 11 different groups of developers with all the access and all the tools capable and available to be able to make these 4K available games, presumably at some point in the future. So enter the juiciest part out of everything. The official Nintendo corporate page. This is a page and a Twitter account that they only use to basically provide information to their investors. This isn't an account on Twitter that the one that you typically see announced in Nintendo Direct or anything along those lines, but they usually are speaking directly to investors on this Twitter account, who also only basically speaks in Japanese. They went ahead and posted in English and in Japanese as well, basically a rebuttal to the entire article denouncing just about everything that was encompassing into it. And I'm going to read. It says a news report on September 30th, which is, remember, this is already September 30th in Japan, but most likely you're still watching this on September 29th here in North America or Europe, falsely claims that Nintendo is supplying tools to drive game development for our Nintendo Switch with 4K support. To ensure correct understanding among our investors and consumers, we want to clarify that this report is not true. And they continue in the subsequent tweet. We also want to reinstate that we announced in July that we have no plans for any new models of the Nintendo Switch other than the OLED model, which will launch on October 8th on 2021. So the fact that they're basically flat out saying, hey, we don't have any other Switches planned, we don't know what the hell you're talking about, is basically once again them denying that there's any sort of Switch Pro, Switch 4K, Switch 2, or anything along those lines. Remember that they already did this once before back at E3. There were all the fake insiders telling you that the week before E3, they were going to go ahead and reveal the new Switch, and it was going to be the greatest thing ever, and all these games are going to be revealed at E3 for the brand new Switch. Well, obviously that never happened. And Bloomberg wrote an article talking about that as well, and Nintendo, the same corporate account, came out and said, nope, that ain't happening, y'all are full of it. So this is not the second time they've actually gone ahead and done the very same thing and basically just flat out denied, like, there's no Switch Pro. Stop talking about it, this ain't real. Now, obviously, there most likely will be a better Switch or a new Switch or a Switch 2 or something along those lines in the future. Undoubtedly, this has been a success for Nintendo. No one denies that. But the fact of the matter is that basically they're about to sell an OLED and they don't want anyone talking else or considering any new other more powerful system in the future. This is something that even the Bloomberg article talks about, where how the OLED is just pretty much the same Switch with a better screen and a couple of new added bonuses. But power specifically wise, it's still going to look the same. The games are going to run the same. It's not necessarily anything different. So it's something that Nintendo definitely doesn't want investors and consumers to start being concerned that even a system that's just about to drop in a couple of weeks is going to be already obsolete maybe a year down the road. So of course that makes sense for them, but they've done this in the past as well with the DS, the 3DS, and all those systems. So not much of a surprise, but man, it's so amusing to see this kind of stuff. I do wonder why when the PlayStation 5 the PlayStation 5 Pro rumors, I might correct myself, when those rumors started to drop a couple of weeks back, or maybe even a month back, Sony didn't feel the need to actually come out and say anything. Sony didn't actually feel the need to actually correct the rumors or say, no, that's BS, that's not real, or anything like that. They just left it all alone. They didn't really deny anything. We all expect there to be a PlayStation 5 Pro. Obviously, the Xbox Series family of consoles, quote unquote, is targeting that idea of like there's going to be different versions of the Xbox Series, Y, P, S, whatever the letters they end up choosing to be. So it's going to be one of those things. So like Xbox is going to do that eventually down the road. We know that. Sony is most likely going to have a Pro. It's been rumored. There's a lot of good information regarding that as well. And Nintendo, of course, is going to have a more powerful Switch. It's a no-brainer. But they definitely don't want, at the very least, the corporate account doesn't want Bloomberg to continue talking about it. But that's pretty much the news that I wanted to bring you guys today. This was just so amusing. I saw it happen in real time, and it was just so good to see. I'm going to leave some links in the description below for you guys to check it out for yourself if you didn't necessarily see it. But that's going to be it for this video. If you are brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.